I'm getting so unbelievably, sorry, I just woke up. I'm getting so unbelievably frustrated with this unemployment stuff. So, like a year-ish ago, maybe longer, my line shut down for like 2 weeks so they could retool the plant. So obviously we filed unemployment. No issues whatsoever. Everything went smooth as could be. I answered my few questions. I got paid every Tuesday like normal. That was it. So with this coronavirus layoff thing, I did everything like normal. It still had all my information in it, so I didn't even have to like add anything. And I just made sure everything was correct still. I submit it. It says, okay, congratulations, thank you, blah, 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 we'll let you know what happens or whatever. Usually, like, by that Monday, you file on Sunday, and by Monday, it'll say, like, accepted, and then by Tuesday, you get paid, right? Wrong. Not for me, and not for half the people I work with. My claim from last week still says pending. So, Bailey, get down. So I claim on this past Sunday, I claim the new week like you're supposed to. And it says that there was an error with something else. And so I fixed that information, even though there was nothing wrong. Resubmitted it. And then claimed, last week on Sunday. That one now still says pending, but getting super pissed because everyone's like, well, you got to call, because you can't chat online because it's always busy. I got through to one person. And the person I talked to had I literally feel like I was talking to a random person about it, like somebody on Facebook or something. Like they had no idea and were completely no help. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So I just sat here for 30 minutes getting through this online chat for nothing. So then yesterday, I'm like, all right, screw it. I guess I got to call. So I call. You got to go through a menu system, like an automated, for this, press 1. For this and this and this, press 2. And it's super slow. Like, you're on the phone for roughly 5 minutes going through these menus before it'll give you the option, okay, please wait for somebody to answer or whatever, till you can get somebody. So I get through all the menus, and then, we're experiencing unusually high call volumes. Please try again later. Click. So you're on the phone for 5 minutes, and then it hangs up on you. It doesn't just say, please wait. It doesn't say, there's 500 people in front of you. We'll call you when it's your turn or something like that. It doesn't put you on hold. It just says, try again later, which is fine, but don't make me sit through a 10-minute long menu to get to that point. On the Facebook page for my work that we're in, I'd say it's there's 3 different groups. One group filed, had no problems. They've gotten paid both Tuesdays, no issues whatsoever. The second group filed both weeks, didn't get paid, and then eventually everything sorted itself out, and then they got paid, and now everything's normal. And then there's the third group, which I'm in, which we have done everything correctly, because it's identical to what the people have gotten paid have done, and we have not gotten paid. I've not gotten any correspondence, which, if there's any kind of problem, it's almost like an email, it's an inbox, on the unemployment website, on your account. They send you, if you're approved, if you're denied, if they need more information, if they have to verify something. That's called, the correspondence thing. I have not gotten anything in there. Neither have they. It's just nothing. It just, when you click on it, all it does is just says pending. So I've got 2 weeks now that I'm supposed to get paid that just say pending. This isn't like the first week. I could understand just stuff being insanely backed up and crazy. It's been over 2 weeks. This is the 3rd week now, and nothing has changed. Nothing has gotten better. People are resorting to hitting the button because, when you first call, it's for English, press 1. For Spanish, press 2. Now people are pressing the button to hear it in Spanish, and then remembering the menu options that they've chosen probably 50 other times that they've called, because you kind of memorize it when you've called 500 times. Some people are actually getting through on the Spanish line after only waiting for, you know, an hour or two on hold instead of 4 or 5 hours. Like, it's absurd. Any of you guys laid off or anything? Like, how's it working down there? Hopefully a lot smoother. I don't know. I have called 16 times now since that last little snippet of video that you just saw. 16 times. And every single person that said that they've gotten through has said it's been errors on the unemployment side. Nothing that they've done. It's all been on the unemployment side. So, this is cool. I guess I'll just give up calling until maybe later tonight when they're about to close or something. I'll start calling like an hour before. Alright, so I'm on my way to Lowe's. I don't remember how long ago it was. When we moved, my mom's, at the time, boyfriend had this little tiny, like, 2-burner grill, you know, perfect for like 1 or 2 people. But it was just like a really cheap small one, and she had this big, like, 4-burner, like, you know, stainless steel, big fancy one. So he gave us that one at our old house, and it was, you know, it still worked good, but, you know, I was ready to buy one that had like the storage stuff underneath it, you know, like a side burner and all that stuff. Cool, it starts downpouring out of nowhere. So anyways, I bought like a, I don't even remember what brand, from Sears at the time. Like the nice stainless steel, and I never bought a cover for it because I was like, oh, you know, it's stainless steel, you know, it's not gonna rust or anything like that. But the inside of ours, I mean, it's probably like 4 or 5 years old now. You know, we've gotten a ton of use out of it, and we use it like all year. Like winter, I still, you know, I'm still out there grilling. I'm not one of those people that like puts it away. Like, oh, it's not 80 degrees outside, I can't grill. There's like the parts, like the burners or whatever, like where the flames come out. There's like these things that go over it, like that prevent like the, you know, like grease and all that stuff from like dripping on the burner, which kind of like also in turn prevents like flare-ups, you know, like when it starts just like burning, and you know, then it kind of burns your food. For the past year, like I've noticed ours has flared up like a lot. Like I keep it under control, you know, I keep an eye on it, so it hasn't been bad. But last time I made us burgers, I went out there after like a minute and the bottoms were just like charred, and then I look and, you know, they're just, the whole thing was, you know, the burners were just blowing flames out. I'm like, oh man. And I thought, I didn't realize what it was though. I thought I did something wrong, or we got some ones that had like a crazy amount of fat that was like, you know, dripping out or something like that. And then the last time we grilled, probably about a month ago now, maybe a little bit longer, grilled steaks, and the same thing, like I put them on, everything was good. And then when I opened the grill to flip it, I'm just like, man, it was just flared up like crazy. I kept, you know, I was blowing it out, trying to take care of it. I flipped the steaks. They were a little bit thicker than normal. So I get the steaks off, you know, when they appeared to be done, and I get them inside, and like the outsides were just like, they weren't burnt to a crisp by any means, but they were like way more charred than we like. You know, we like our grill marks on them and stuff like that. But like they were almost just like way past that. I'm like, oh man, still good though, not gonna lie. But we cut them open, and like the very middle was like, not like, we like pink, we like medium rare, but the inside was like just straight raw. So I'm like, oh man. So I tried to save them. I put them back on the grill in low heat, and it flared up like crazy. And after the grill cooled down and stuff, the next day I went out there, I noticed all those little, like, they call them, it's called a heat tent. I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was just like a burner cover or something, which that's essentially what it is. It covers the burner. But those were like completely just rusted away. Like, it was nasty. I'm like, really? I mean, they were just like disintegrated. And what was there still was literally just like, you could grab it, and it's supposed to be, you know, it's metal, it's thin metal, but it's still metal. You could just grab it and it would just crumble like dust. And I'm like, oh man. And I couldn't find like the stickers on ours are like, sun fade and stuff, so I can't find like a model number of like, hey, I need a part for this specific grill. And then the other day when I was at Lowe's getting our fire pit stuff, I walked through the grill section and I found out they're called the heat tent and you can replace them, and I guess it's really common that they rust. And so I thought that was cool. So heading to Lowe's right now to buy 4 of those. Hopefully, I mean, the grill is still like the outside of it and the lid and the burners and all that stuff's still in great shape, so it's still got years and years of life, but the inside and where the propane tank sits is just, I'm like, oh man, it's kind of on its last leg. So I'm sure we'll definitely get like one more season out of it, but maybe I'm thinking maybe this year, like towards the end of the year, when they put all the grills on clearance and stuff, we'll invest in a new one and get a cover. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Still haven't touched anything outside. Like our backyard's got chunks of deck in it. I cut some big limbs off this tree that were kind of hanging down low. And I'm still, oh yeah, let me talk about that. So my unemployment. So with my unemployment, I work in Ohio, but I live in Michigan, so I claim Ohio unemployment, which thank God, because I looked up the Michigan unemployment is terrible. Like, it's the maximum you can get is like 300 something a week or something like that, which is like, I mean, nothing compared to what I make. I mean, obviously I'd be thankful for anything I could get, being out of work, but like I would be, scraping by, to pay anything with, only getting that much. But Ohio, I get a significant amount more than that. I finally got through to them. I called, there's like 10 different numbers you can call. Every single one of them, after you go through all those menus and hear all those prompts, it would just be like, we are experiencing unusually high call volumes. Please try again later. Click, and that's it. Like, you couldn't even just be like, if I got to hold for 5 hours, I'll be on hold for 5 hours. Like, they just wouldn't even put you on hold. So, that was like, what was I talking to you guys earlier? Like, 9-ish in the morning. Couldn't get anything. Finally, right now it is 5:26, and I got through about 5 o'clock. Well, no, it was about 4:45 I got through, and I was on hold for almost 40 minutes on the dot. Got what I need. Just need some propane now. So that was easy. I forgot they exchange tanks here. Pulled up. These places crack me up. Like I really appreciate what places are doing to try to, slow the spread or stop the spread. Like putting they got like, here at Lowe's, for instance, they've got this big plexiglass, like, wall up, essentially, where, God dang, that propane tank was heavy. They got this big, like, plexiglass wall up where you interact with the cashier, so you don't have to, like, when you're talking, you're not just blowing air right in each other's face and whatnot. But then the card reader is way up, tucked up by the cashier, so you got to put, like, you essentially got to put your face like this close to it to be able to reach your arm in far enough to use the card reader. So I'm like, well, that's kind of shitty. Like, that makes it worse because now people are blowing their germs on that, and then I got to put my face right up on it. Whatever, I guess. But like, I had to get a propane tank exchange, so they got like a little barcode they got to scan. And the guy comes right up, he's face-to-face talking to me. He grabs the stuff, from my bag because he had to, like, move me. I was at, like, a U-scan. I said, can I do a propane thing here? Do I got to go somewhere else? And he's like, yeah, you just got to come up here. And I'm like, all right. So he grabs my stuff, like, takes the bag from my hand and, like, pulls it out, scans it. And then, he's talking to me face-to-face and this and that. And I'm just like, that's kind of defeating the purpose of, like, and he had, like, a plexiglass thing up in front of him, too. So I'm like, okay. And it kills me there are so many people now wearing gloves and masks, or one or the other, which I understand that. I fully get that. I'm not knocking that. But here's the thing. They put these gloves on, right? And then, whoops, hit buttons on my steering wheel. But then with those same gloves, they grab the cart, which is understandable, and they're grabbing their groceries. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you grab the cart, which, you know, is essentially what you're wanting to protect yourself from. And then with those same gloves, you're grabbing your groceries. So then you go to the checkout, you put those groceries, you grab them again, put them on the lane that's probably contaminated with stuff. And then they put them in a bag. You know, some random store clerk grabs your groceries and puts them in a bag. And then you grab that bag with your gloves, put them back in your cart. You go out to your car, you grab your keys, most people with these same gloves on still. So now your keys are contaminated. And then you pop your trunk or you open your door or whatever, put the groceries in there. Now those germs are in your car because, you know, they can transfer from surface to surface, as well as, I guess, they're airborne as well. Obviously, you know, if you're coughing and getting in and whatnot. But, so then you take the gloves off. You're like, okay, cool, I can throw these away. But I'm noticing a lot of people are literally throwing them on the ground. You are a garbage human being if you're doing that, because you're just littering. That makes you a bad person. Don't do that. Keep our earth clean. But that's irrelevant. Then, so now you got your clean, unexposed hand, well, exposed to the elements now, your clean hands. Then you grab those same car keys, or your cell phone, or your purse, or your wallet, or your bank card, or the groceries with your bare hands. So now you literally just defeated the purpose of wearing those gloves. And the masks. When we were in Walmart yesterday in Toledo, I can't tell you how many people, I lost count because I was actually trying to count because I was so interested myself in figuring this out. So many people had these masks on, you know, like the big, kind of like cloth, you know, they're not cloth, but like the flat ones that go like this. And they had them like pulled down to here, like, I'm like, well, they either had them pulled down like below their nose, so their nose was wide open, or they had it completely like pulled down to their chin, like as if they were talking to somebody, so they wanted to move it out of the way. Like, again, you just defeated the entire purpose of wearing that mask out of the house, just so you know. These people crack me up with the stuff that like I said, I'm not knocking any precautions anybody takes. You know, everybody's going to handle it different. Truthfully, I wish I had a mask and some gloves to wear. I'm not going to lie to you. I really would. But with that being said, you got to think, though, like, if you're wearing gloves in the store, and this is another one, too, that I see. I don't know if you guys have stores like this, but most of the stores around here, where the carts are, they have like, and they've always had this, it's nothing new, they haven't done anything really, they have like sanitizing wipes, like Lysol or Clorox wipes, you know, to kill the germs. So you grab that, and then before you grab your cart, you wipe the handle down, right? You know, makes sense. I can appreciate that again. But people grab the cart with their bare hands and then walk over to the little rack, grab a sanitizing wipe, and then wipe the cart off. And I'm like, again, you just grabbed the dirty cart with your clean hands, and then you sanitized it. Like, it's just, I don't know, it blows my mind, like, seeing the effort that some people put in, but just how ass backwards they do it. But yeah, that's a little rant for the day. Anyways, though, like I was saying before, I went to Lowe's, finally got through an unemployment. So my partial week, I think, yeah, my video got cut off because my radio, like, started controlling the phone or something. So my last week of work, I worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Normally I work all the way through Saturday, sometimes Sunday, but because I worked a partial week, the unemployment, you know, when you file, they want to know how much you made that week. Because if you make more than what your weekly benefit is or whatever, then obviously you wouldn't get paid, you know. And I was right there. I was literally within like $30. So my first payment would be like $30, which is, you know, whatever. But you got to put that information in there so they know that. So when I filed, it asked, I said yes, and here's what I made roughly, because I didn't know exactly, because obviously my pay stub hadn't come out yet. But I put like a rough amount, you know, like a rough estimate. I was within like $20. So then you file for your weekly claim every Sunday for the prior week. So like 2 days ago, today's Tuesday, so I filed on Sunday, and then it finally popped up like, hey, you know, we found an error, blah, blah, blah. Can you give us this information? So, you know, I fixed it, and it was asking, it was something related to how much I made on that partial week. So I put it in again. I'm like, I already did all this, but okay, I submitted it. It's like, okay, thank you. And then I filed my claim, and both weeks just say pending. Normally, like, if you file, like, you get paid on Tuesday with on Ohio unemployment, at least in my case. I file on Sunday. By Monday, it updates and shows that it's approved and or paid, one of the two at least. And then usually by Tuesday morning, the money's in my bank account. Mine still, as of today, just say pending, which is, you know, why I haven't got paid. I can't, when I got through on chat late last week, and she was like, oh, you know, you'll just have to wait, you know, it's taking longer than normal. I'm like, okay, like, and I get that, but I have bills that need to be paid, you know, like I'm not, you know, granted, you know, I got like a few of my big ones waived for a few months, but like I still have utilities and, you know, car insurance and stuff like that, you know, that they're not going to waive. Like, I need to get paid. So I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it. Obviously you work there, you know, not me. Nothing's changed. So when I finally got through today calling, she's like, oh yeah, it looks like we need to know how much you made on your partial week. And I'm like, for the third time now, you know, I'm like, I've filed it in my application, I told you. And then I told you when I filed my weekly application, because it said again that it needed to know. So supposedly it's fixed now, and it should be updated tomorrow, and I could even get paid as soon as tomorrow. So here's for hope. But I'm at Kroger right now. I'm gonna grab some steaks and some corn, some potatoes. Hopefully they have that stuff. Wish me luck. All right, guys. So back inside, clean up the kitchen a little bit. I'm gonna show you what to do. We are making some steaks today. We're grilling them. Normally when we do steaks, we do like steaks on the grill, corn on the cob on the grill, and baked potatoes on the grill. Just use some russet potatoes. The ones Kroger had was actually really tiny, but whatever. And they also did not have corn on the cob, which sucks, but work with what you got. So I'm gonna show you how I get these steaks ready. Really simple, really, really simple. So honestly with us, we just kind of we don't grab like the cheapest cut of meat, but we're also not spending like $20 per steak. So I actually really love Kroger. Ours always has a really good selection, and they've never let us down. So today we got the choice beef ribeye steak. This is the family pack. This was actually cheaper to buy with 3 of them than 2 were separately. So hey, I'll throw it in the freezer, or I'll make it for lunch tomorrow or something like that. So this was $19 for 3 of these, and they're all pretty decent sized. So let's see. I usually get like a cookie sheet. That's the easiest. Okay, so we're gonna go get them ready on the cookie sheet. So I usually use one that's about half the size, but that's all I can find right now. So I line with aluminum foil. Totally optional. You don't have to. I just do it so I can use this same pan when they're done cooking. Store sheet on there. Don't have to be perfect. And you're going to want to go ahead and rip these bad boys open. And I guess I'll choose the 2 bigger ones. dinner tonight and then make the smaller one for lunch tomorrow or whatever. Take the little pad thing off the bottom. So again, I like to clean up as I go. So, just a couple ingredients, or seasonings, or whatever you want to call it. One of them, you're going to want some sea salt. That's just regular salt, but you know, the bigger chunks of it. Fresh ground pepper if you can. If not, regular pepper is perfectly fine. Fresh is just always better, obviously. Some olive oil, and then I use this stuff that I showed you guys in the pot roast. It's something my mom makes. Truthfully, I don't know what's all in it. I know it's like salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, a couple other things. But really just any kind of like salt and pepper, maybe even some garlic. So what I do with the olive oil, and again, try to use like just one hand with your meat stuff. That way you can grab everything else with your other hand. So I'm going to grab with this hand and then I can, you know, touch the meat and whatnot with this hand. Just literally a dab of olive oil, just enough to kind of coat the steak. Doesn't have to be dripping wet, just enough to coat the surface. That helps it. I don't know if it gives it any flavor, to be honest with you, but that kind of prevents it from sticking to the grill grates. So give it a good amount. I mean, little amount, but enough to coat it. I'm normally a little bit more generous with it, but we're literally so close to being out. Maybe a tad bit more on this side. So after that, coat it really religiously with salt and pepper or whatever seasoning you use. Now again, this might look like a lot, but this is going to form like a nice crust on it. When you make steak right, you do not need any kind of sauce. No, you don't need to cover it in, caramelized onions or mushrooms or cheese or no steak sauce at all. No A1. We have never had A1 in this house. Now, don't get me wrong, steak sauce is delicious, but to me, most people use, from what I've seen, most people are using A1 to cover up a bad steak. So, got them good and coated. Go ahead and flip them over. You might have to use both hands, but might not. Try to be gentle with them so you don't knock all the seasoning off. And that's another reason why I go a little bit heavier with it, is when you're moving these around, you're going to knock a lot of that seasoning off. So there's the last sides. So I can go a little bit heavier on this. If you have like some kind of brush too, that would definitely work. We do. I'll just be honest with you. I hate washing it, so I just do it like this. So now that I'm done handling them, I'm actually gonna wash my hands real quick. Can't stress this enough. Don't be afraid to season your beef and your meats. Put some pepper on there now. You don't need a lot of that. With the steaks now, you want to kind of let them rest. You're really just going to kind of want to let them get like, not room temperature, but you're going to want to let them just kind of sit here for, I usually do about a solid 45 minutes. Those bad boys look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff done around the kitchen, then I will come back. Okay, so steaks have been sitting for probably about a half hour now. I've done some dishes, cleaned the kitchen up a little bit. So now I'm gonna get the potatoes ready, and by doing that, I'm going to start the grill. So the grill is on high. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I do everything on propane. I don't do charcoal. I like charcoal better. It gives you a little bit better flavor, but I don't have the patience for it. And because it's so windy out where we live, it's just a hassle. So we're just going with propane. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on high, let it preheat. I'm gonna do mine a little bit longer because I got those new grates on there, so I kind of want to let, you know, any like coating or finish, you know, kind of burn off them. You know, I don't want that burning while I'm cooking the food. So with the potatoes, yeah, look how tiny these are, man. They're normally bigger than my hand. With these, well, I guess I got two drastically different sizes. With these, we're gonna grill them as is. You know, we're not gonna cut them open, nothing like that. So the trick with that is you actually get them wet. Kind of rinse them off too. I use a paper plate, but you can use anything that's microwave safe. And then you're going to take a fork or a knife, poke some holes in them, just maybe 4 or 5 times, just all around. If it's bigger, you know, obviously you can do more. This just lets the steam escape when you're cooking them. So the trick, because if you've ever done baked potatoes on the grill, you know they take forever. So the trick is put them in the microwave first. So I put them both on a plate. I do it for 5 minutes, then flip them, then do them for another 5 minutes. And then usually by that time, the grill is pretty much ready to go. We don't have a thermometer. The thermometer on the lid of ours is like stuck, so it doesn't actually work. So just get that grill as hot as you can. All right. So as your potatoes are in the microwave, get yourself some foil here, just 2 squares of it, because we're gonna wrap the potatoes in that when we throw them on the grill. Right out of the microwave. You don't gotta. You can put butter and stuff on the outside if you want, but I don't do that. We don't eat the skin though, so if you do eat the outside, then obviously that would probably make it taste a lot better. Be careful when you take them out of the microwave. They are gonna be extremely hot, so pull them by the plate or whatever. Just handle them quickly. Think of the game hot potato. That's not too bad, actually. So right here would be a perfect time. If you do want like some butter or some olive oil on the skin, right now would be the perfect time to do it. Just go ahead and kind of wipe it on there. Add some salt if you want. But you can kind of see when it's starting to cook, the skin kind of gets a little bit wrinkly. I'm just going to wrap it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just wrap it up. Do it like that and then just fold the sides over. Ooh, that's hot. So I guess this is where it benefits having a bigger cookie sheet. So now all this is going to go on the grill. So we are actually going to throw these on the grill a little bit before. The steaks are going to cook for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, so about 10 minutes total. The potatoes take about 15 roughly, so I'll go ahead and throw these out there right now. I'm going to throw these on the upper rack. Unfortunately, it's raining outside now, so I can't even bring the phone out there. Threw the potatoes in on the top rack. It is 7:30 now, so about 7:35. I'll let those go for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to throw the steaks on. Get these on. So, while I got those going, I'm gonna throw them on there for about 4.5 minutes right off the bat. Then I bring the pan back inside, throw this away. Throw a new sheet on there. While we wait, I usually go ahead and get the toppings ready. nothing on the steak, but butter, sour cream on my baked potato, and put a little bit of cheese on there. But I'll do that at the end. Got the plates ready. And then now you pretty much just wait. You only flip the steaks one time. If you want grill marks, you can actually rotate them about halfway through. So about 2 minutes in, you'd actually just kind of pick it up a little bit, spin it about 90 degrees. Do it both sides, you know, both steaks. I don't care about that though. I'm going for taste. I'm not a restaurant, so I'm not going for looks. Rotate the potatoes again. That little flare up. Just kind of move that